Hello, my name is Ray Lopez, and I would like to welcome you to this episode of Lopez Live. On today's show, we'll be discussing TxDOT projects in the district and the San Antonio Food Bank. Now I would like to welcome my guest, Eddie Reyes, who is the Bear Metro Area Engineer. Did I get that right?
Yes.
All right, well, we've got it made. Eddie, thank you very much for being here. We like to do this kind of outreach to the community, let them know what's going on the ground. A lot of folks have been driving by here for the last couple of years and go like, what in the world are y'all doing and when are you going to finish and what's this all about? So we're trying to give them a little bit of a view about that. So, but I know that you're new to this show. So first, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you, Councilman, and thank you for inviting me to your show. My name is Eddie Reyes, and I'm the area engineer for TxDOT here for the metro area in San Antonio. I've been with TxDOT for over 20 years, and we manage all the construction and maintenance activities here in the metro area.
Great. And so you are generally responsible, when you say metro area, more or less, what are the boundaries for that? Inside of Bexar County?
All of Bexar County.
All of Bexar County. Do you go outside of Bexar County in some cases?
No, we stay here in Bexar County.
Okay, so you're the guy that we go to if we have a problem, huh?
Correct.
All right, there you go. Well, listen, I really, as I said earlier, I really appreciate you coming in here. Tell me a little bit about some of those projects. You know, here in Northwest San Antonio, over the course of the last few years, we've experienced a tremendous amount of growth.
Sure.
With that growth comes traffic. And we have been fortunate enough to some extent to get some favor from the state as well as from the federal government to give us dollars to invest in these projects. So tell me about some of the big projects that are going on. We're standing here at this particular one. We can certainly talk about this one. But what are some of those priorities and what do you see going forward with those projects?
Our biggest focus is safety. We have gone 16 years without a single day where there has not been a fatality on Texas roadways. So we really focus on the safety part. And with the safety, also the work zone safety. So it's very important to focus on the work zone safety. For example, you have to expect the unexpected. You have to be prepared for narrow lanes. You have to be, make sure you're not distracted. And so our focus at TxDOT is to move you through our work zones as safe as possible. We want to get you in the work zone and out of the work zone. And with that, you know, we have to be a little patient with the construction. So a lot of things change, the exits change, the barriers change, the location of all the work items, the work zone items. So we have to be very cognizant of safety going through the work zone. And to mention some of the projects, you're right, this area has had tremendous growth. We're like in a box right now, bounded by 410, US 90, 1604, and 151. And we have a lot of projects coming up. You mentioned Prop 1. The tax funding from Prop 1 is actually funding the project behind us. And so a little bit about this project behind us. It's an $82 million project. It started last October. So we're in the first year of a 3-year project. And as you can see, there's been a lot of progress already. You're going to see improvements on 410. We're going to add a lane in each direction on 410. The connectors behind me, what they're going to do is carry traffic coming inbound on 151 and carrying it to 410. And
no more stop signs.
No more signals.
No more signals.
You're not going to have. That's a good point. We no longer have to go through the signals. We have to go through, I think, 3 signals just to go from 151 to 410. We're also going to get you from 410 to outbound 151, which is the SeaWorld area, the Alamo Ranch area. Kind of like what we have at Bandera and 410.
Yep.
That same configuration is going to be built here behind us.
Well, that catches half of it.
Yes.
So I know that there's another prop that got passed last year, Prop 7, that appropriated additional dollars. So when will we be seeing the start for the other half of the other directional flyovers?
That's a good question. We have it under design right now. So in a couple of years, we should be ready to go ahead and let the next project. This project is going to last another 2 years. And then soon after that, we should have the next project ready. But you're talking about Prop 7, there's some other projects that have benefited from that. And one of them is 410 at 90. And that one's going to let in December. So we're going to have a big interchange there. We're going to improve 410 operations. We're going to add a lane in each direction. We're also going to replace the Marbach at 410 bridge. So that whole project will be coming up next year. Again,
streamlining traffic for the future for what I believe to be the fastest growing corridor in the state of Texas, if not the fastest, one of the fastest. So We know we have a lot of work to do, and I know that this 151 corridor has been really the subject of a lot of attention, particularly because it's, if you will, the spine of all that growth that's happening out here. So we're real excited about all that. Now, I know that there's other projects that District 6 in particular is very interested in,
Yes.
and I know that we are almost at the end, almost at the final stages of that. But talk to me about the other end of 151 at 1604.
Sure. That project is a very successful project. It came under budget and ahead of schedule. And as you know, we have that new connector that takes you from southbound 1604. It flies you over the interchange where we used to have a signal, and you have to sit through a signal before you can make that left turn. Now you fly over all that and you touch down on 151. The good news is that new connection from Alamo Ranch that is going to fly over 1604 will be open by the end of Christmas, or by Christmas.
By Christmas.
Yes.
Well, I think that's a big, huge concern for the community. That's a holiday, and it really talks to the first part of what you were talking about highway safety.
Yes.
You know, during the holidays, not only are we worried about where we're going, what we're going to go do, what we're going to buy for our friends and family and the like, but there's also an awful lot of other people that maybe are going in traffic patterns that they're not accustomed to because of the holiday shopping and the like. So it's really important that people be aware. And I know that TxDOT does a great job of communicating through the TransGuide and getting people to kind of be aware to put signage and wayfinding, if you will,
Yes.
in all those intersections. And that has really, really helped a great deal for the community. Everybody comments positively about it. So thank you for all the hard work that you do. There is one message that you guys deliver that always gets my attention right around this time of the year when you talk about the number of deaths
Yes.
that have happened on Texas highways in the past year.
Yes.
And we always hope, my gosh, I hope we don't take it and break the next record or break another record. I do know that that's been a serious concern of TxDOT's, and as an office, we try to work as closely as we can with you to get that message to go out there. So basically, it's slow down, take it easy,
Right.
enjoy the holidays,
Yes.
right? Pay attention to your surroundings.
Yes.
So let me take you a little bit further into the future, and it's kind of one of those, people are always asking, everybody talks about all the growth coming to this quadrant of the city. So if people wanted to find out what some of those plans are, is there a website, is there a place that they can go to kind of get general information?
For any information on future projects, you can simply go to the TxDOT website, txdot.gov. Yes.
And I know as we get closer to those, the city calls them, we have Here We Come meetings, right? Where we go out to the community and basically tell them, hey, listen, we've got a project, here we are, we're coming in your area soon, tell us more, give us more detail. You guys do the same thing, is that correct?
Yes. We have outreach where we go talk to the HOAs, or we could come to one of your meetings and explain our projects.
Good.
Yes.
Well, we're looking forward to doing that. I guess at the end of the day, what we want to do as a city is work very, very closely with TxDOT. After it's all said and done, the good citizens of the state of Texas are the ones that fund all these projects. We want them to continue to do that. Have the confidence that we're doing it in coordination and collaboration with their government agencies, and then we communicate with them clearly. I'm looking forward to working with you on that.
Same here, Councilman.
So yeah, I think it's going to be great, and we're looking forward to great successes. Well, so thank you, Eddie, for the great information about TxDOT projects in our district. Please stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break and talk about the San Antonio Food Bank.
Next month I'll be 9.
I'm going to the big game.
I'm getting married soon.
But sadly, they may never see these milestones. At least one person has died every single day on Texas roads since 2000. Every day.
A child.
A parent
A spouse.
doesn't come home. When you drive today, stay focused, obey laws, drive responsibly, end the streak of daily deaths.
You can do it, Texas. Let's end the streak.
Welcome back to the show. Well, we just discussed some TxDOT projects in the district, and now we're going to be discussing what the San Antonio Food Bank is up to for the holidays. This holiday season is going to be very special, Eric. And we have Eric Cooper here from the Food Bank that's going to be talking to us about a lot of really cool stuff. Welcome to the show, Eric.
Thanks, Ray. Thanks for all you do for our city and leading, and just a privilege to be on the show today.
Well, it's been a lot of fun, I got to tell you. I mean, my last 8 years of service on City Council, this was one of my favorite spots to come. And of course, it's grown so much, and it's made such a big difference in the community that anyone has to fall in love with not only the facility and all the great stuff that's happening here, bringing the community together, but the work that you do and the impact that you make to millions of people across this entire community. So thank you for what you do.
No, thank you, and back at you. I mean, you know, it's a privilege to be here in District 6. It's been incredible to work together over your many years of service, and you're no stranger to the food bank.
No.
You've done so much for us, so from our board, staff, and the community here, just thank you for your leadership.
Well, I appreciate that. I do like to tell my colleagues that this belongs to District 6, but I realize it doesn't. It's really a community-wide effort. And you have a very long spanning vision. Tell us a little bit about the mission and the vision for the food bank, and then we'll take off from there.
Well, Councilman, we've been around since 1980, so for about 36 years serving 16 counties here in Southwest Texas. Most people don't realize that because our name is the San Antonio Food Bank, but we do serve a larger section of Southwest Texas, and within those 16 counties there's about 500 plus nonprofit organizations that withdraw from the food bank. Those nonprofits are serving 58,000 people each week, and so we work to collect the right food in the right amounts at the right time. We really try to get a good balance of refrigerated, frozen, non-perishable, and non-food items from those that have it here into the warehouse, and then those many nonprofits will withdraw on a weekly basis the food and grocery products they need to serve the families that they do.
Yeah, well, it's like any other bank, right? You can only take out of the bank what you put into it, right?
That's right.
So talk to me a little bit about, you know, where does this come from? Who do you partner with to be able to draw resources into this bank, food bank, and then we'll talk about the other side of that.
No, absolutely, and that example of a money bank with deposits and withdrawals, we always are looking for deposits, and they literally come from the field to the dinner table. So every link of the food chain, the food bank's got strategy, whether it's working with farmers and growers, food manufacturers, food processors, wholesalers or retailers. Obviously here in San Antonio we've got a phenomenal retailer in HEB. They're very generous to us. But we also work with restaurants, hotels, caterers, places that are prepared food to be eaten, and it's not. The food bank is rescuing those leftovers. Most people know us with food drives when we're asking the community to donate a non-perishable food item. But we have lots of creative strategies to try to get food from those that have it. Many of our trucks are picking up and delivering on a daily basis food that doesn't even come into the warehouse. So it's picked up from a donor, delivered to an agency, and then gets to a family. But here at the warehouse, we'll facilitate about a semi-truckload an hour that's coming in and going out. And as you said, we hope that the deposits equal the withdrawals, and that the San Antonio Food Bank is never over withdrawn on our inventory, and that we're able to fulfill our mission. We're only able to do that with such great support coming from San Antonio.
Well, I mean, that you are able to turn it over that quickly is certainly an advantage, but there are some of the foods that you get in have a time stamp on them, right? I mean, you got to get them out quickly, or else they lose their
their
value.
Especially in the produce that we distribute, right? Because oftentimes the produce items are being donated because they're ripe. They're ready to expire, but still edible, and so we have to move with urgency to get that food in and out. And so most of our perishable product turns over in about 2 days or 48 hours. The rest of our inventory turns in about 2 weeks. So it all, you know, moves very rapidly. And in some cases, that's, you know, because the demand is so great. And so, you know, with that demand being posted on our inventory, what comes in moves out very, very quickly. And we've just got a great system and great staff, and we really have optimized our supply chain to make sure that we can get food to those in need.
Well, I hear them working hard back there,
They are.
moving some of these produce, some of these goods and services around, and that's great to see that they continue to stay busy. Now, the flip side to that, of course, you get food in, you deal with your partners, There's got to be, and I know there is, programs to let people know, the neediest of the needy. You really need to go to the front of the line. There are some people that have just an urgent need for the next meal.
That's right.
Then there's some that are basically programs that over time, I know with our senior centers, you've had a tremendous amount of success there. Talk about those two types of things, those that are kind of like impromptu, people that are hungry, they want something now. Talk about those programs.
Well, I think, Councilman, the first thing I like to say is if you're in need, please reach out to us. Oftentimes we're encouraging the community to donate and we're making those appeals, and someone in need might feel like, well, the food bank's hurting, they need help, and I don't want to add to that burden. You're not a burden. If you're struggling to put food on your table, please reach out to us. You can do that either online or just through our call center. We want to make sure that you're nourished and that your family's nourished. It starts with just reaching out, and we've got great staff that will qualify them, get them connected to an emergency food pantry that's close to them in their neighborhood so they can access food for today. But we also want to make sure they've got food for tomorrow, and so we've got staff that'll help them through all of the public benefits, SNAP, WIC, CHIP, Medicaid, TANF, long-term care, all of those programs that that household might be eligible for. We can help those families with the applications, work as a liaison between them and the state to bring down those benefits. The last area of our work is what we call food for a lifetime. And you know, it's important that we all work according to our ability and receive according to our need. And so for those individuals needing assistance that might be unemployed or underemployed, we've got strategy to move them into the workforce, whether through job training in culinary arts or warehouse training, or just interview skills, freshening up the resume to help them get a job. You know, it's important that everyone in our community is nourished. And when you think of the 58,000 people we feed each week, about 1/3 are children and about 1/3 are seniors. Now, they don't have a lot of ability to work. They're in need. And so the food bank's always going to have lots of great programs to nourish children, whether it's at school or on the weekends or during holidays or the summer. And as you mentioned, it's such a privilege to serve seniors who have many served our country and now are in the twilight years of their life and limited to maybe income that just comes in Social Security, higher medical bills. You know them because you've done such a great job to support seniors here in the district and at our incredible senior centers. They're phenomenal. They get seniors out, they get them socializing, but through those senior centers, through our program, Project Hope, we're able to deliver a monthly food box to those eligible seniors. And so that food box has an array of great grocery products that then can nourish that family, that senior over the month, and then each month as they attend that senior center, they get that benefit. And boy, it's humbling to be able to serve those seniors who have served our community, served families, like I mentioned, served the military, and now we have an opportunity to serve them in return.
Well, that's right, and quite honestly, there's hundreds, thousands, if you will, of us. You know, I put myself in that category. I'm fortunate enough to have made it this far in life to make it to be a senior, and hopefully someday jump into that next level of a super senior. You know, our seniors are living longer now, and many of the demands that they have on their time and their needs, they start developing ailments they never knew how to deal with. So I know that you do a lot of outreach on not only giving people food to eat, but making sure that they understand what they're eating, the balance of the diet. And that only doesn't help our seniors, that also helps our kids. And thank you for the hard work that you do. You know, I know there's an adage, and I'm sure I'm going to do my best to get it right, is if give a fish to someone today, you feed them for today. If you teach them how to fish, then you really help them for the long term. And I know that you guys kind of do that here. I know that you've got a garden. We're hoping that we can work through all the logistics of the negotiations and get that garden even larger and having you the ability to do more agricultural development. Like, talk a little bit about that and how you bring people in and how you're teaching people to eat well.
Yeah, you bet. And so that's, for all of us, we need to hear that message, right? It's the right food in the right amount at the right time. That's really the solution to hunger and good nourishment. And so for us, we want to make sure that families are nourished. And what we find is that there's 4 big barriers to good nutrition. One is income, right? We can't afford it. Or geography, where I live, I lack transportation, I might not have a grocery store close by. Education. What do I do with those produce items? I don't know how to prepare them. I don't know the recipes, or how to deal with a squash or an eggplant. Or the other 4th thing is just the competition around food and marketing and advertising. Unfortunately, unhealthy, cheap food tastes really good. Mm-hmm. So, those fast food alternatives. So we want to make sure that we educate our families about making sure that they're getting the best nutrition for the dollar, that they know how to prepare that food. And so we have a program called Food IQ, and it's really increasing the community's knowledge around food and how to prepare it, and how to invoke some strategy to get your kids to eat more produce items. It's a challenge for any parent to get a child to eat healthy, but with a little bit of training and knowledge, there's some creative ways to get them to increase their produce palate, get them trying different things. We really believe that through diet, good nutrition, and physical activity, we can attack many of the chronic diseases that we suffer from here in San Antonio. High rates of diabetes, heart disease, obesity is a nutrition issue. And so when we can get folks that right food and the right amount at the right time, we can really start to do more than end hunger, but we can move our community to a better state of health.
No question about it, and thank you for the hard work in all of those arenas. I know we're heading into, or we're right in the middle of our holiday season, and of course between Thanksgiving and Christmas, most people just recognize that it's time to give and the sharing and all that, but really that's a 365-day need. So when is your busiest time? We can assume that it's during the holidays, but I bet that there are other times when it peaks. Talk a little bit about when is your busy season, and what typically is coming up in the very near future with respect to the holidays.
Well, Councilman, we kind of have this saying that hunger doesn't know a holiday, right? It is, like you said, 365. The demand is year-round, and so we're trying to make sure that the community engages when they can. We can use it. But if we could spread some of that spirit of the holiday interest in the food bank throughout the year, it would really help us. The busiest time of year for us, from community engagement, the desire to volunteer, to make donations, is the holiday season. But the busiest time of year from a demand perspective, or the need, is actually during the summer. So many kids are fed through the National School Lunch, School Breakfast program, and over those 11 weeks of summer, they're home and they're hungry, and households are having to struggle with now increased childcare costs. They're trying to figure out how to pay their utility bills, because we know it gets hot here in San Antonio and those bills go up. And so the demand for food during the summer outpaces any time of the year for us. So making a donation, volunteering, choosing to get involved is what we need. We always say there's 4 things that we need here at the food bank to deliver on our mission: food, time, money, and voice. Food through food donations, food drives, or if you're a food company, reaching out to make that happen. Some creative ways is some ranches right now that are culling their deer population, right? We take in a lot of protein through venison. Everyone can donate food, you just got to figure out the best way to do it. Time through volunteers, bring in your family, all ages are welcome. We want volunteers. Money, you can do that online. We're still consistently the most efficient nonprofit in San Antonio, with just 2% administrative overhead. And the last thing is really just raising your voice. The donation of voice to us is advocating, getting out and educating the community, or even offering prayer goes a long way in fulfilling our mission.
No questions. Well, here's your opportunity. Throw out a website and some contact information so that folks that are watching can take advantage of your you're a great opportunity to serve.
You bet. So just visit us online at safoodbank.org. Again, safoodbank.org, or you can call us anytime at 337-FOOD. That's again 337-3663 or 337-FOOD.
Easy enough. Easy enough. Well, as we head into the holidays or through the holidays, I know that you're going to make a difference in so many lives of so many people. And again, I think it was important that people realize that it doesn't end there. As a matter of fact, that's just part of that long-term cycle of, what did you say, hunger doesn't recognize the holidays. It happens every single day. So, Eric, thank you very much for the hard work that you do. I know that you've got a great team supporting our region, and we want to be part of that team. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Councilman.
That's all the time we have for this episode. I would like to once again thank my guests, and I look forward to our upcoming episode. And until next time, I'm your District 6 City Councilman, Ray Lopez.
Hi, Eric Cooper, President CEO of your San Antonio Food Bank. Just want to thank San Antonio for all you do to serve, but want to encourage you to make a difference here at home. We need volunteers always, and everyone is welcome to make a difference. Please give us a call, 337-3663 or 337-FOOD, or visit us online at safoodbank.org to make a difference right here in our community.